Hello and welcome to 1111 Oracle. Today I have 3 choices of crystals for you, and depending on which crystal you choose, you are going to get a barrage of compliments from me. So, Spirit, channeling through who you are, what kind of person you are, and all the wonderful things that surround you. I am here today to give you loads of compliments. So here are the choices. We have 1, 2, and 3. I will see you at the timestamps. All right, number 1. Okay, number 1, let's see. Let me start off by saying that you're very determined. You're an you have a good mix between like this balanced energy and this kind of excitable, fun-loving, adventurous side to you. You have a grounded energy, generally speaking. You have the potential to have a lot of like a good grounded energy. Sometimes you can get a little too in your head, but we're about compliments today. Despite the difficulties that you have surmounted in the past, you are a fighter and you have gotten through everything just gloriously and beautifully well. So we start off with a really good foot. I'm going to start off with shuffling the tarot for you, and I'm going to pull out some cards and we'll see. Compliments. Compliments. Okay. So you have the Page of Swords and you have the 8 of Swords. You are, you have a lot of layers. You know, you have a lot of layers to you. You come off as being very mysterious and very alluring. People are enticed by you. There's something different about you, and it's almost like you have this secret inner reserve of fun-loving, never-ending sort of giggles of laughter that other people just can't touch. I think you generally do have a significant amount of haters, or at least, you know, there are certain people around you who are envious of you and what you have. So that kind of shows up in this case as the Page of Swords, where you have people who kind of just prod you on and poke you to see how you'll react, and they get really, really frustrated because you are someone who, it's not that you turn the other cheek, so to speak, but you are so above it and people don't know how to get to you. And the reason why you're so above it is because you have been through a lot of difficulties in the past. I mentioned some of the struggles and challenges that you had at the beginning when I just started channeling the reading without the cards. And what I'm getting is that you kind of wave off any hater that comes your way, at least subconsciously, because you have the sort of mentality of been there, done that. You are not afraid of what other people think of you, or if you do worry about it sometimes, you have learned how to take an honest, good look at yourself and just sidestep your preoccupations that don't serve you and move on ahead. So it's very refreshing to have a viewer like you tune in, because you're a very real person. You don't give into a lot of drama. You're authentic. You're a really good friend. You're a good friend to those who deserve it, though. At the same time, you have very good boundaries up. So you know how to protect your space. You know how to protect your loved ones. And you don't give too much if nothing is given back in return. So this is excellent. So you seem like, in general, you're a pretty balanced and well-adjusted, well-aligned person. If you don't feel that this is true, this is the potential in you that is just waiting to blossom through all of your efforts and hard work. And I do feel that you are getting to a breaking point where you will kind of get past a lot of those challenges and, you know, prevent yourself from cycling back into old patterns of behavior and thought. So you're an inspiration to others. You're a fighter. You teach others how to be strong emotionally. You teach others a lot about stamina, a lot about moving forward, a lot about self-belief and being very autonomous. You're very autonomous. You have maybe had to raise yourself in a certain respect from a young age. And although the going was tough a lot of the times, it's made you into the really beautifully strong person that you are today. And now you can do for others what you would have wanted to have done for yourself. And you can help empower other people to move on ahead, just like you had to teach yourself, right? Okay. So now I'm going to shuffle from another deck. We're going to get a little bit more in the way of compliments. So this is from my the Fairy Forest Oracle deck by Lucy Cavendish. Does a lot of different decks. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle these cards and we're going to pull out some, let's see, okay, you have interesting card for compliments, Blood Month, and Before the Gathering. Okay, so by the way, you have this sex appeal to you. You're this very something kind of enticing or seductive about you. There's something very feminine, and you also draw in others magnetically to you. You may be very connected to the cycles of the moon. Just because I see blood month and, the time of month and whatever, I don't necessarily take things literally when it comes to the oracle cards here. I take, certain pieces of information, and I allow my mind and my intuitive abilities to just roam and see what my thoughts connect to. So the way my thoughts are connecting in this reading is that, okay, time of the month, once a month, blood month, moon, month, round, cycle, right? So it's kind of how my brain works. So yeah, you're very connected to the cycles of the moon, and you may want to look into moonology or some kind of, practice of, or pick up a farmer's almanac or something like that and get into kind of seeing patterns in moon phases in your behavior. But you're someone who has a really, I would say, an enormous array of psychic potential, whether tapped or untapped. Your manifestation abilities are very high, and your manifestation abilities can be good or bad depending on what it is you're actively manifesting. So you always have to check in with your heart and make sure that this is something that is important to you, something that means something to you. But yeah, I do see you as someone who draws people magnetically in. You have this powerful aura. You're grounded. You're beautiful, seductive. You just intelligent. You're an all-around, good catch of a person. You can be a little intimidating to people just because there's something that's just very magnetic about you, and this does throw some people off who are maybe in a negative space or whose energy frequency just is not a good match for yours. So those people might be a little intimidated or thrown off by you, but the right people just love you. And you may notice that people just tend to either love you or hate you. Hence the reason why you might have a lot of haters. They just see you and they're just envious of who you are and everything that you've accomplished in your life. And they don't get it. They may think that it's not fair that you've been given all of these things and they haven't. What they fail to realize is that you worked hard for all the things that you have in your life. And so I think you are a wonderful, energetic being to be around. I mean, I'm very drawn in by your energy myself. If this resonates with you, leave me a comment down below, and I would love to connect with you, and I look forward to reading for you in a future video. Hello, number 2. All right, number 2. So number 2, I see that you have a beautiful imagination. You have a lovely mind. You have these really unique and original ideas. You may be very artistic and, love to draw, love to paint, love to dance, love to sing. Or you're just really good with your hands. Could be any of the above. If you don't resonate with that, these are just some messages that I'm channeling through without the cards. So the cards may say something differently, and that's fine. But what I do see is that you are a very heart-centered person. And a lot of the lessons in your life you've learned by careful consideration of what your heart is telling you, and you kind of balance that out with what you think you should be doing, or maybe other people are telling you to do, and you always are someone who chooses to go with your heart. You're a very heart-centered, heart-guided person, and it's very inspiring to see you progress along your path and grow as an individual. So, yeah, you may find people ask you for advice a lot, on how you did certain things, or you got certain things, or you do certain things. I don't know if you're talented in dancing or something, and then someone says, oh, how do you do this step, or how do you do this move, or I would like to be as good as you. You might find that people come to you a lot, requesting your help as a kind of a mentor, and you have this calming energy about you, maybe even have a calming voice or a soothing voice, especially if you do like to sing or you're a singer. Anyway, wow, it's a lot of information coming through here. I'm going to shuffle the tarot deck, and we'll see what else comes through. Nice. Okay, yeah, you have this okay, so you have the Magician, and then you have King of Pentacles. So you're someone who definitely, when I said mentorship, it's interesting that the King comes out and sort of confirms what I was saying a little bit through this figure of authority. You kind of walk in a space and you just denote this authoritative vibe. I mean, people generally look up to you. You have this good energy. People like to be in your presence because they just feel like, okay, if you're there, then whatever else is going to run more smoothly. It's like people like to hand you the keys to things and say, okay, you're in charge. Okay, so that might be something that you do find prevalent in your life, where you're you're given leadership positions or leadership roles, and you're put in charge of a lot of things. This may be overwhelming to you sometimes, so just make sure that you do learn to say no if you can't handle something, if something is a little bit too much for you. Otherwise, you are a really good person with a really big heart, and you are just sort of this magical being to other people. You have a lot of talents. You're multi-talented. You can be, if you're in the theater business, you may be considered a triple threat. A triple threat is someone who can dance, sing, and act. If you relate to that, then let me know in a comment down below. Otherwise, you can be, a triple, quadruple, whatever, etc. Threat in any other area of your life. You're just that person who's kind of like the brainchild, and maybe you were gifted in school and you can just you're just talented at a whole bunch of different things, and people are just always in awe. You're pretty popular as well. People like you. You're grounded in the way that you You don't act like you're better than anyone else. You're, if anything, a little too hard on yourself. You may be too hard on yourself, and sometimes you don't realize how wonderful you are. But you are someone who is definitely loved, very admired, popular, respected. People want to know how you do things, how you got things, how you know, like just people always sort of asking you for advice. And it seems like you are also a very good manifester, just like the first group. You may have been drawn to group number one. There are certain energies that are similar here. Both you and group one are very good manifestors. Okay, so now let's take a look at another deck. The Fairy Forest deck here. By Lucy Cavendish. I always want to say Cavendish. I don't know why. Cavendish. Okay. I'm not sure why. So I'm going to shuffle the cards, and we'll see what the oracle cards have to say about you. What are the compliments? Let's compliment group. Whoop, there we go. Okay. Group 2. Your compliments just flew out. Well. Aha. The Weaver. Interesting. Although you are popular, you're also very different, and you're not afraid to be different. So there's a certain level of confidence that even though you may be hard on yourself, there's a certain level of innate confidence that you have within yourself, and you're not someone who's going to conform easily to others. At least you don't conform your values. There's something that you refuse to conform, something that sets you apart. And this is a really interesting card. Some people may think you're weird, despite how popular you are. You know, there's always going to be the haters. Some people may think you're weird, but in actuality, you are just yourself, and they are just threatened that you have the audacity to be yourself. So when you think about that, it's kind of ridiculous, right? That they would think you're weird just for being yourself. This just goes to show you that people are weird. You're not weird. They're weird for thinking that in the first place. It's just such a silly thing at the end of the day. The Fairy Norn, and she is all about planning. Now, not just planning, it says planning, patience, cooperation, but I also read more into the card. You know, I see she looks at herself in the mirror, and there's a reflection of a unicorn. So there's something very unique and special about you, you know. You are very different from others around you. You do stand out quite a bit, and you have like this interesting mixture of eccentric yet conventionally beautiful attributes inside and outside. You are someone who, yeah, you know, you like to take your time with things. You like to plan things out. You're very organized. You have a vision for yourself, and you work towards your goal, and you make it materialize. You did have the Magician, so that's interesting. And you're also someone who is able to, you see yourself in the mirror, and you almost can see the you who you see is different than the you that other people see, right? Even though you are different, people can't place what it is about you that is different. They can't quite understand how you're different, but you're just different. It's the way you move, it's the way you speak, it's the way you glance, it's the way you do things in general. Maybe the way you dress, your actual look itself, something about your background. Maybe you come from another country, so you have an accent. Whatever it is, there's something about you that is different, and even if it's just something that's a little bit more obvious, like an accent, or you look physically different, There's also something else. It's like people look at you and they say, well, there's just something else. And they're sort of hooked on you. So groups 1 and 2 are very similar in this way, but slightly different energies. People are just sort of like intoxicated by your vibe. And they want to know a little bit more about you, but every time they try, it's like they can't, because there's something else that presents itself, or they just can't decipher who you are. And that's a good thing, because that always makes people wanting more, I guess, and then it just makes you the unique and special unicorn that you are, right? So you have this magical quality to you, magical energy, heart-centered. You're also very wise, and you like to plan, and you do materialize your goals, which is nice. And you're just different. You stand out. There's something almost like whimsical or fairy-like or mystical about you. And it's really such a honor to meet you, or to have you. If you are one of my subscribers, I'm very honored, because I really like your energy, and it's just really nice, and calming in general. And if you're not a subscriber, then just, hey, it's an honor to meet you. So I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I look forward to reading for you in a video near you. Okay, number 3. Let's take a look. Number 3. Number 3. You are an interesting person indeed. So I'm just channeling information before I shuffle the cards, and I have 2 decks of cards that I'll shuffle. So what I'm seeing is that you have crystal clear intentions. You have this very pure energy, pure soul, pure heart. You speak very, very clearly. Sometimes you can come across as naive or innocent to certain people, but you're not. You know a lot. You just keep it inside. You have this dark side to you, but that's not as known. What it does is it just gives you this awesome, like, cool, like, badass undertone to who you are. And you can be the sweetest, nicest person in the world, but there's something a little like, I don't know, you're something really cool. There's a cool vibe that you have, a cool undertone. And yeah, it's just really, I can't explain. I wish I could put it into words. The way it feels around your energy is almost like it's refreshing, in the sense that I feel like I can connect with someone who, just, if I were to meet you in person, we would just look at each other and we just know, like, you have this ability. You may be telepathic, or you're just very good at reading people, and you just know. And I like to think I'm good at that as well. So we would just see each other. We would just be like, yep, I get you, you get me. There's something very, it's like, I feel like I've met a kindred spirit. I don't know how to say it. It's almost like, thank goodness you're here. Thank God for you, because before, I was surrounded by these people who are just like, I don't know what they're thinking, and it doesn't make sense. And then with you, I just feel like, oh yeah, like, there's even a common sense of humor maybe that we might share. But there's something fun, pure but yet dark at the same time about you. So let's see what the cards have to say. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle the tarot. Let's compliment number 3. That came out too quickly, so I just want to compliment number 3. Oh, came out again. So, when it comes out twice. You have 3 cards. Interesting. Most groups have 2, but you guys have 3. So you have the 5 of Cups. Interesting. The Lovers and the Empress. Look at that. Yeah, you have this powerful cool energy to you. Yeah, the Five of Cups, I'm interpreting that in this case as just having these sort of like deep, dark feelings, where you can understand life at a very deep level. And it's not that you're detached. You may be Buddhist. You may practice the art of detachment. If you're not Buddhist, then it's just that there's something about you where you're able to understand the dark underbelly of life and accept it and know that it has its place. And you can also move on from these sort of darker, you're able to easily move on from dark moments that have maybe held you back. Maybe they held you back in the past. Maybe this is something new that you've learned or you are learning. If you haven't quite gotten there, know with confidence that you are going through a transformation. You've already gone through a transformation. You will go through a transformation with the phoenix bird and the shield there. And this transformation is going to get you to be who you are meant to be, who you were always meant to be, who you have been and always have been for eons and eons past, deep within your soul. Okay, the things we're meant to be, we already are. Just, we have all these other conditioning baggage that we hold along the way that sometimes blocks who we really are, right? So it's not like, oh, I have to be that person because I'm not that person now. It's like you already are that person. You are the kind of person who has some kind of a darkness. You can walk away from it after you've understood the message. You understand the message, but you're able to kind of detach and not kind of sort of wallow in those negative feelings of pity and self-doubt and all that kind of stuff. So if you're not able to do this yet, know that with confidence, I do believe that you are going to be able to do this. And I do think that you're going through some kind of transformation. You have gone through a transformation where your life will literally make a 180. This is kind of a weird message because it's supposed to be about me complimenting you, but for whatever reason, I'm getting the message that your life is about to make 180. Or it has, or it's in the, whatever, it's in the process, something about it being very close to the now, whether it was recent past or recent future or right now. And where negativity kind of held you back, you're on this path of transformation where you're going to be attracting a lot of abundance. Abundance in love, abundance in, good feelings, abundance in deep understanding and wisdom. It could be financial abundance, all that could be tied. Okay. My dog just barked because I guess that was a confirmation. Yes, finances is looking up. My dog says so it must be true. And I don't know. There's something about you just, of course, the Lovers is there. So coming into union, coming into connection with your, some people are uncomfortable with the term, but I don't know. I don't buy into all the rules and regulations that people set forth with, okay. My dog feels like talking today. Hey, you, why are you talking so much? What do you have to say? Do you want to teach us something? Huh? Okay, he's trying to communicate it, but, he just uses a different language. And my dog is very excited for your reading, I guess. I was going to use the term twin flame. If you don't like the term, I apologize. I'm just using it in the sense of finding your, your I don't know. The other half of your soul, I want to say, but I don't mean for you to take that literally either. Just that person who is the yin to your yang or the yang to your yin. How about that? My dog's just super excited about your reading. There's a lot of good energy here. So you're just someone who you know, who deserves good things, who attracts good things. You've worked for those good things. You've made it a point to get from point A to point B. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. We understand. Thanks. We're okay. Thanks. Okay. And so, and yeah, you just have this great, like, you have to have the dark side of your personality, because you know that dark side is what allows you to not be afraid of the dark, to understand it, and then be able to move on from it. Okay, Hanson. Thank you. Thank you. All right, sorry about that. Let's go to the oracle cards. Okay, but yeah, you're just this person who's glowing with this high potential. You can really take your energy out any way, because you got the crystal quartz. Especially, you can go one way, you can go another way, you can go any way you want. You can have the abundance that you want. You're just this. Everyone in all three readings are good manifestors, so maybe our collective energies are just kind of vibrating at a faster rate or something, but you in this group in particular are the master manifestors. You really have this integrated, unique, soulful connection with bringing about what you want. The Fairy Force is the oracle deck we're going to use by Lucy Cavendish. Oh my god, I always mispronounce that. So I'm going to shuffle the cards and let's see what compliments we can give. Nice, right on. You got, yeah, you're awesome. Okay, so Frere, abundance, peace, contentment. There you go, abundance. You are someone who is attracting a lot of abundance. You have a lot of abundance in your life. And if you don't see the abundance that you have in your life, try to look at abundance in a different perspective and not just from a material or financial point of view. You also have the wild hunt, excitement, frenzy, journey. So there is something, you're going on a journey. If you, maybe you're going to start traveling and you're going to meet a lot of people and you're just going to attract a lot of good energy your way. There's something about you going on some kind of a journey, whether spiritual or physical or a combination of both. You are someone who may like to move a lot. You like to just, in general, physically speaking, you like to move, like just your body unit, you know, or you could be moving to another neighborhood, but whatever it is, wherever you're moving in your life, there is just this frenzy, this energetic, wonderful, just good energy around you. And you are this energy. That's the best way. I'm trying to give you a compliment, and I'm trying to pick apart, you know, the adjectives that I want, for this group, but it's really just, you are that energy. That energy, that's just that good feeling energy, that is you. You are this energy. You are this exciting, abundant, attract good things. It's a little bit of dark side to you, which is super cool. Energy. Really nice. So I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I look forward to reading for you in another video.